The Illinois State Board of Education voted Wednesday to adopt a new system that tracks students' reading, writing, and math skills. The proposed system will split student scores into 4 categories, from below proficient to above proficient. The proposal would also apply to the Illinois Assessment of Readiness, which covers English, arts, and math for 3rd through 8th grade students. State Superintendent of Education Tony Sanders said if approved, the system would start with the 2025 report card.